Hi, I'm Lee Benz, the Homescholar, and today in this video I want to talk to you about how you can be confident in homeschooling through high school. You know, there's a lot of messages out there about how you're inadequate, and there are actually some people who believe that you need a degree in teaching or a master's or a PhD in order to educate your own children. And so what I encourage you to do is look at your children and look at how well educated they are, and then you'll know that that's not true because you've been providing a quality education all along, and nothing is going to change when you're in high school. But there are a lot of messages out there, and I do become concerned about accrediting agencies and virtual academies because their advertisements are everywhere. They're all over the homeschool websites, they're all over the homeschool magazines, and it's very confusing because their subliminal message is that you as a home educator are somehow inadequate. Their messages might be that they provide a real teacher, as if you're not, or they provide a real transcript, as if yours isn't, or they can provide college preparation, as if yours isn't somehow. and none of that is really true. One of the things that they do give, though, is the possibility of failure. Because as a homeschooler, you don't want to see that failure. You want to see the children really learn, not fail to learn one subject. Because in a virtual academy or an accrediting program, much like a public school, there is this assembly line production of education that goes at a steady rate, and children don't tend to learn at a steady rate. They're either faster or slower. So you can actually have a failure to educate because they miss a key concept, but the class moves on. Or they've already learned 5 key concepts that the teacher's trying to teach them, and then they become bored, and then there's a failure to learn. You may also have a failure to love learning, because if a child is bored, they may not love learning, or if they're completely overwhelmed and stressed because it's too much, then they won't have that love of learning. But I think what's even more concerning is that they can actually get a failing grade. Because if they don't turn their paper in on time, or they don't do it in the format or the voice that the teacher wants for English papers or something, they may actually get a failing grade, even if you as a homeschool parent know that they have learned a quality amount of material. Their actual grade from an accrediting agency could be a failing or a poor grade. And that's one of the reasons why you want to be very carefully evaluating that sort of situation. Now, what they do provide, these outside accrediting things, they provide outside documentation that your homeschool transcript is true. And so what I suggest is that instead of doing that in a way that can set you up for potential failure, is that you can provide outside documentation of your homeschool transcript by providing comprehensive homeschool records. You can give a long description of your classes so that though your transcript says maybe English 1, you have a long list of exactly what it was you did and what you used and how you evaluated and all this stuff in a comprehensive homeschool record that the colleges then can use as outside documentation that your class actually happened, you know? And so what I'm suggesting is that you can be confident in your abilities to teach, and that you can provide outside documentation through additional records in addition to your transcript that you can give to colleges so that they know that your children are well educated, just like you and I already know that they're doing pretty good.